Welcome back to Talkville, folks. We're here. The ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. We go back. I'm wearing the same clothes. So is Tom and Ryan because we did back-to-back episodes today.
Hey, I like your new jacket.
My little inside of you jacket. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna need one.
Thank you for joining us every week. And if you want to support the podcast, join patreon.com/talkville. If you want to give back, tons of perks. We're adding perks. So many cool things. If you want to be a top tier or just give back to the show and become a patron, we'd love it. Without you, we can't do the show. If you didn't get a chance to call in the hotline, make sure you do, because a lot of people do, and we get repeats because people are on top of it. I love it. All this information is in the show's description. You can go to my Instagram link at the Michael Rosenbaum and go to Linktree for cons, Cameo, whatever. Tom and I are going to cons this year, a lot of cons, and we hope to meet you and see you and hang, maybe have another patron hang. Without further ado, let's get into season 4, episode 9. This one's called Bound. Rosenbaum. Title Bound aired November 17th, 2004. Director Terrence O'Hara, the late Terrence. We love him. Writers Luke Skelhaus. Second episode. Guest star Claudette Mink as Corrine Harper. Cobie Smulders as Shannon Bell. How I Met Your Mother. And Cobie, trying to get her on the podcast. Her husband,
Taran Killam.
Taran Killam, who's on the Inside You podcast. Mm-hmm. He auditioned for Pete for this show.
And the last thing that I tested for before I got Mad TV was Smallville.
No.
I went to the studio for Pete.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because I was also rep by Tolan Robbins for management.
Wow.
So like they were heavily involved in that, obviously, and went there, and then they changed the casting dynamic for those roles.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that was
that's crazy. Small world. We could have been working together.
Yeah,
we could have had 7 years together.
I know.
Actually, Pete left, I think, after 2 or 3 years.
Okay,
they let him go.
Had enough.
Yeah. Well, I think that the character. I didn't think they were going anywhere with the character.
Sure, you can only go like, oh my God, Clark. What if somebody finds out? So many times.
Man,
really?
That could have been different.
That could have been different.
He's funny.
He's a funny guy.
Funny.
I love having him on the podcast. Great guy. Synopsis: a string of flings lands Lex in some hot water, and Clark has a change of heart with both Luthors as he fights to free his friend.
Well, the opening scene, because we were kind of all had to be there that day, and there were so many moving parts, and I always had this thing, and I've mentioned this before in the podcast, and I always had this thing about Lex in my mind that Lex should never have to move out of the way of anybody else. You've heard me talk about this before. And as you're moving through this crowd, I remember going to the director and being like, listen, I know it's not my character, but this is our show. People have to walk around Lex. He's that powerful. You got to tell everybody that comes past him. And there's only one person as you're coming down the stairs that you actually have to move a little bit for. And it almost looks like you're like, why am I moving for this person? It's like,
that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No.
This episode kicks off at a fundraiser in Metropolis, as we discussed. We see Tuxedo Lex working in the room and spotting a brunette in a red dress. He follows after her and strikes up conversation. They listen to music together on an MP3 player. You couldn't say iPod. It had to be an MP3 player, which of course leads them to leaving the party and going to Pound Town.
Yeah.
I thought this was a cute introduction of two characters. It has become very intimate.
Do you know what it's
how
from?
Often do you share your headphones to somebody?
It just occurred to me that there's a scene in a movie called Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma, where a woman, Angie Dickinson, sees this guy, and it's like a 15-minute scene of them kind of like, he's gone, he's looking at her, she's following him, she starts looking for him. It's just this really cool thing.
It was a cool way of like doing it without speaking. And at first, I thought she was deaf. I thought because there was no speaking and I thought she had the device, I thought it was like a hearing aid. I thought it was going to be like a sweet little thing. I knew it was going to end in disaster, but it looks like a nice little start to everything.
Yeah, that would be even worse if you took advantage of someone with hearing
impaired.
I
thought maybe Lex would find love, but then, just, I don't know, he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Another thing where they share headphones, Garden State. That was another thing.
Yeah.
It's a very cute move.
Finally, a Lex sex scene that didn't get cut. I think it did get cut. I think, but it was enough. I didn't need to see any more. Michael.
She was
she ended up getting cut. That's for sure.
Oh, God. Well, not her. Working with Cobie Smulders, true professional, great actor. It was easy. It was easy. The next morning after one night stand, Lex wakes up as a housekeeping enters the room. And by the way, she shrieks and screams. And I was like, wow, that was a good reaction by her. Good acting. Finding the red dress woman dead, bound and in a pool of blood. Kinky.
Was it?
No, it was weird. It was like holy crap moment.
Later that day, we see Lex leaving jail on $5 million bail and being swarmed by the press with questions of what happened. His lawyer, Corinne Hartford, clears a way for him, and the two can reconvene in his office in Smallville.
And Lex claims his innocence, and Corinne starts prying for more information about the girl whose name he doesn't know, and their conversation gets interrupted by her assistant, Shannon Ball, who is obviously the girl in the red dress, but wearing glasses, so Lex doesn't notice. Though, and they leave. I immediately go, oh, that's her. Maybe because maybe the audience didn't know. Did you notice right away?
Well, at the beginning, I was like, not Cobie Smulders? And then, like, when she came in the door, I was like, that's cool. Yes. And that's the girl from, there's some fuckery afoot.
Yeah, I think they wanted you to know. But I don't know, but Lex would have been like, wait a minute, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I totally missed it.
It was only because I knew who the actress was.
They should have had her look different, though.
You know, How I Met Your Mother came out like a year later. She wasn't, this was like.
No, but I mean, you know, he just saw her like 2 nights before, and then he sees her with glasses. How does he not recognize her?
It was a trope. She also, her hair was done up, wasn't down.
Maybe. Clark shows up to
He's
the Luthor
distracted.
mansion upon Lex's request. He tries to clear his name and claims that Lionel is once again up to no good. He then tells Clark to go home after inviting him over for a 2-minute conversation, as usual. It's usually, hey, good, Clark. All right, take care. That night, we see another person having night terrors up in the Talon loft, but this time it's Lana having nightmares of being burned alive like Isabel. Clark decides to pay a visit to Lionel, who a couple episodes ago swapped bodies with him and now knows all of his secrets. Clark is understandably hesitant, but Lionel tries claiming to have nothing to do with Lex. Instead, he is now obsessed with the powers he felt after the swap. He claims to be healed both physically and spiritually. However, he believes Lex still has the darkness within him.
Question. Have
Yes.
you ever visited anyone in prison?
It takes a while.
They do it very frequently. And it looks like it's easy to just get an appointment and walk in.
He just walks in with all these other dangerous people. It just wouldn't happen like that. It was very...
Aren't they booked solid for...
Yeah, you have to schedule a visit, and it has to be there. It just, yeah.
That's
I
tough.
mean...
Listen, I'm sorry. Did you guys want to see in the episode Clark trying to make the appointment, calling back, waiting for 4 hours in the waiting room? Did you want to see that?
That'd
Is
be
that something
compelling
you
You
missed?
could have said in a line, it's like, Lionel, I tried to get in earlier, but it took me some time to get permission to come here, or something.
It would be funny to see what it looked like when Clark walked through the metal detector. I wonder if that would be something
yes.
strange.
Lionel goes on to talk about his son's patterns with chicks and gives Clark some advice on what to look for to help Lex. Interesting. Do we trust this guy? Do we?
He's
know?
very
adamant.
You want to believe him. I mean,
Yeah.
John's a great actor.
Yeah.
Do you want your dad to know about your sexual tendencies? Not really.
No.
I didn't care.
Although he had sex with the girl that I had sex with. Remember my first wife?
Oh, yep.
And pictures of him having sex with her or whatever. I was like, God, what a creep.
Jesus. Back over the Talon, we see Martha and Lana discussing her nightmares the night before. Martha tells Lana that she has a visitor. When Lana sees the woman, she looks identical to someone who was in her dream and in France in 1604. The mystery lady is Genevieve Teague, Jason's mom.
She's a witch? Or she's,
I don't know.
we don't know.
She looks a lot like Jane Seymour.
I really like the way Kristen played this scene. She has this one reaction, which I'm sure wasn't written, where she goes, "Am I bothering you or something?" And Lana goes, "No. Yeah, actually." I just thought it was a fresh reaction.
Yeah. And Genevieve Teague says to her, "You look like you've seen me before."
Yeah.
You had that. I thought that was cool. That was like a moment where she's like, I mean, how many times I think I've seen you before, but how many times have you heard, "You look like you've seen me before"?
Yeah. Like
It's a weird response.
like someone whose name you can't
Should we
remember
say it
calling you
at
out.
the cons from now on when we greet people?
Yeah.
You look like you've seen me before.
Genevieve tries to explain to Lana that Jason hasn't been in contact with his mother and that she believes he's avoiding her. Lana says she doesn't want to get in the middle of his family drama, but agrees to pass on a message to him.
That was good character on Lana's part to kind of be like, listen, if he's not willing to let you in, I can't,
Yeah. I like how they play this scene
Yeah.
too. It was good.
Later over at Smallville High, Chloe finds Clark in the torch and the two begin investigating Lex's murder victim. Chloe is skeptical of Lion. Chloe is I'd be skeptical of a lion's involvement too.
Me
That'd
too.
be like, how's he doing that? Chloe is skeptical of Lionel's involvement, but Clark is now convinced that Lionel has turned a new leaf.
Yeah, in their conversation, Chloe reveals that Lex has 13 girls coming out with stories against him, even though he told Clark this never happens. Dirty dog. Huh. He's promiscuous, this Lex Luthor.
His hair would not have worked in last week's potion, I'll tell you that much,
Yeah.
if he had any.
And we find out, later, but he's always gives earrings to these women that are really expensive. Like, if I was a woman and some guy had casual sex with me and I knew what it was, and they were sent $10,000 diamond earrings just to say, hey, I think it's kind of cheesy. I wouldn't do it.
This is not a new story. I can name at least 4 people that I've heard do this, and very
Really?
famous people.
In real life?
Yeah, it's like apparently it's very famous that Warren Beatty did it. I heard that Derek Jeter would do it. It's like,
wow.
it's like a thank you for whatever happened.
Yeah. After they
man.
ID the car they believe belonged to the victim, Clark heads to Metropolis in search of Eve Andrews. Clark walks into a house and finds Lex suspiciously in the kitchen burning photos of himself. He says he's trying to save his own ass and pleads to Clark for help.
By the way, who took those photos? Like, that was confusing to me. And how did you find them in the house? I don't know.
I don't know. It was just weird. Why would Lex go there? Why wouldn't he send the cops there?
Well, the cops come, but we never see the cops. They just kind of make it
But why
away.
did Lex go there?
So we get to show a close-up of a gloved hand, and we're like, uh-oh, whose hand is that? And then there's a reveal.
Yeah, maybe. The two guys head back to Luthor Mansion, and Clark, who is now an accomplice, is demanding answers. Lex believes he had a stalker who Lionel arranged to have him framed, and Clark tries defending Lionel, and Lex gets pissed, telling Clark, you need to pick a side. He says something about the fence. You can't keep playing the fence, Clark.
Clark takes this information to Chloe, who is conflicted on who is telling the truth. She goes on to share video evidence from the night of the murder that creates suspicions on whether or not the girl that Lex was with in the elevator is the same woman who was dead next to him in the bed.
Why would you hire a woman who you slept with?
Corinne?
Yeah. Why in the world would he do this? It just makes no sense. It's just like, I don't know, but go on.
It's good Jeopardy, though.
Yeah, it's just weird. I never would. I would have picked somebody that was just like.
Well, I think we're just trying to highlight how promiscuous Lex has been, and it doesn't really. He thinks he's sort of he literally thinks he's above the law.
Yeah, maybe.
He's on top of the law and under the law,
Up and
So to
down
and maybe
the law.
behind the law.
Maybe.
Back at Luthor Mansion, Lex is meeting with his lawyer, Corinne. She receives a call notifying them that Lex was drug-free the night of the murder. Corinne then tells Lex that Eve was stalking him because they slept together before already, and he gifted her diamond earrings afterwards. We then learn that Lex also has relations with his own lawyer, creating a huge red flag and conflict of interest in his scorned love case.
Yeah, I feel like 18 months ago when this happened was around the same time he was in a psych ward, though, no? He was having sex with Psych Lex?
I don't think
Psycho Lex?
We probably didn't. No one probably timeline checked that.
Yeah, maybe it was right before. I don't know. Go on.
That night, Clark and Chloe head into Metropolis to go reenact the event inside the elevators of the hotel where it all went down. They get nice and close and ultimately learn that Eve's other earring fell down the elevator shaft.
Tom, you wanted to talk about this.
Well, it was funny. I liked watching me and Allison play this. It was fun. We always got along so well, and the uncomfortableness of the situation is what makes it so much fun to watch. But my comment was this might be the first time, at least first time I remember, where Clark has zoom X-ray vision. He zooms down like 40 flights into a
I noticed that.
into a $5,000 stud earring. But yeah.
Talkville is brought to you by Good Chop. If you haven't heard us talk about this, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable company. Good Chop offers fully customizable boxes of high quality meat and seafood delivered to your door on schedule. I cooked some of these steaks and it was the best meat I've had. And I'm going to name drop, but I won't name drop. I went to my friend Skeet's house and we barbecued and I put these on the grill and I don't know what it was, but Good Chop completely sold me. You can choose from over 70 high quality cuts, 100% grass-fed ribeyes, USDA prime filet mignon, free-range and organic chicken breast, pork tenderloin, thick-cut bacon. They also have wild-caught seafood, salmon, Pacific cod, scallops, shrimp, and more. Tom, have you had this?
No, this is good stuff, guys. I've had it all, and I want more. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, it's.
I really am.
When I get these boxes, I get so excited because I know I'm going to be fed for the week. And what's great is it doesn't cost a fortune for this great. You could have quality meats. Good Chop's price per meal starts at just $3.74. And unlike a lot of companies, Tom, Good Chop sources its meat and seafood exclusively from American farms and fisheries, so you can support local family farms and independent ranchers right here in the U.S.
The products are vacuum sealed and frozen at peak freshness, so you can stock your freezer and cook when you want, just like I do.
Good Chop especially prides itself on sourcing meat that comes with no antibiotics or added hormones ever. No artificial ingredients, only the good stuff. And you know, they're so confident in this product, as am I and Tom here, that they offer 100% money back guarantee here. So love Good Chop or get your money back. This stuff's the real deal. If you want delicious meats or seafood, this is the place. Good Chop. Go to goodchop.com/talkville120 and use code talkville120 to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. That's code at talkville120 at goodchop.com/talkville120 for $120 off. goodchop.com/talkville120, code talkville120. This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. You know, a lot of us wish we had more time, but time for what? If time was unlimited, how would you use it? The best way to squeeze that special thing into your schedule is to know what's important to you and make it a priority. Therapy can help you find what matters to you, so you could do more of it. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy can help everyone be the best they can be. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp.
Listen, learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/talkville today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville.
Well, Clark takes the evidence back to Lionel in prison, easily getting in. After putting the pieces together of the hit job against his son, Lionel mutters, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned." And I like these moments. I like the ambiguity of Lionel. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he playing it like it's something's going to come out of this. Later, we see Lex paying a late night visit to his legal counsel on an invite from Corinne. He walks into her office, turns around her chair, and finds her throat slit, dead. Both of them speechless. And after calling 911 and being put on hold, Lex notices the same MP3 player from earlier in the episode. He goes to pick it up. Here's a gun being cocked. It's the assistant, Shannon, who we know is...
Kids, How I Met Your Mother. You guys don't watch the show?
No.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The
It's funny.
MP3 killer
Funny show.
takes off her glasses for some reason because we don't know it's her, lets her hair down, transforming into the red dress woman. She pistol whips him and ties him back up in Luthor Mansion. Jesus, no wonder none of these people know Clark's secret yet.
Lex asks her to show how she got past his security. Shannon goes on to explain that the first time she earned her earrings, it ended up ruining her marriage. She was beside herself after Lex didn't have reciprocal feelings. In true bad guy fashion, she goes on to explain her whole master plan of how she had Eve Andrews killed and attempted to frame Lex.
Yes. Why would
Well,
she?
I mean, listen, I just think that one of the things, it's like Scooby-Doo moment where I'm going to tell you my whole plan. It's because they think that the other person who's about to die anyway, it's going to make them suffer a little bit. I guess.
I guess so. Look, this episode had a lot of tension. I thought the acting was good. I liked that Lex was caught up in this sort of whirlwind of sexual endeavors. And, the whole thing was interesting. It was very adult as opposed to the last episode. It felt very mature, and I like that.
We also haven't seen Kryptonite in a while.
Which is good. We
notice
got
that?
tired of Kryptonite for a while. We could leave Kryptonite alone. We cut away to Lana and Jason in the loft, Talon loft. She shares the news about his mother being in town. Jason apologizes for Lana having to be involved and then warns how manipulative his mother can actually be. And we're starting to think, okay, they're caught up in something. I love the scene later in the limo, which we'll talk about. But over at Smallville High, Chloe and Clark are using identification on the diamond earrings to trace back the delivery of the earrings to Shannon Bell. Clark takes the information and super speeds to Luthor Mansion to save the day. Why did she take him back to Luthor Mansion? How did she get him back to Luthor Mansion?
Well, she explains that too. But I think, she wanted a symbol. And also you had the location. What do you want to pay for a new location?
I don't know, it's just odd.
The
It's
wine
just like,
producer?
why not just kill him then? Right in there. In the office or wherever the hell they were.
She want to make him burn for his sins.
Yeah, but it's taking a risk of people seeing you. How does security didn't come in? What is going on? It's just like sometimes they just throw reality out the effing window.
Yeah, but it also allowed Clark to have the big rave moment where he's like, yeehaw, with his jacket. That was awesome.
I think it builds in a way that it makes you understand why Lex kind of loses it at the end. Bad women, bad father, the community doesn't like him, people trying to always deceive him. You know what I mean? It just builds.
On the flip side, though, at what we really see, we hear all these things about Lex, but what we really see is him trying to take care of everybody around him.
Yeah.
That's the irony of it.
Yeah, he tries to take care of everybody. Nobody is ever there to take care of poor Lex, right?
Shannon is saying her final goodbyes to Lex, covering the room in flammable liquid. It looked like Jameson to me. She drops a candle, which sends a ring of fire blazing around him. Clark rushes in, knocking out Shannon, and then takes his jacket to create some kind of tornado that removes the fire from the room. He super speeds away before anyone knows what happened.
That was pretty cheesy. I mean, you going woof, woof in slow motion. It was like, oh my God. But it was like, I just was like kind of like perplexed by it all.
Because normally he would just like run around in a circle and do it. But today we're just...
Does Clark not have super breath yet?
No.
Probably not.
We actually discovered that in
out.
the episode that I direct in Freak, where you go,
oh.
What would have been funny if he was like, how am I going to do this? He goes, puts on his hands on his hips and goes...
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Look at that.
They surprised it on me
Your
the day
birthday
of. They said,
candle.
we're going to do a super breath thing for the first time in your episode in the next scene. So Glenn and I had to figure it out. This is the second scorned lover who has tried to burn Lex alive inside his office. Desiree, season 2, Heat. Michael, I mean, good Lord. I just remember the stunt guys did most of this. They make it look good. They make it look like I'm there, and I don't believe I was. I might have been there for the ring of fire, and then they just easily press, turn it down, turn it up. It's like one of those, Anyway, next day, all is well back on the farm. The Kents learned about Lex's innocence, and Clark is conflicted, having learned about his friend's player ways. Clark goes on to share his visit with Lionel and tells his parents that he was changed in more ways than one.
Lex goes to pay a visit to thank Lionel for helping Clark. Knowing his father, though, he understands that Lionel must want something in return.
Mm-hmm.
Lex is feeling generous, so he hears him out and learns that all Lionel wants is to be his papa.
Yeah. Lex tells him to not expect another miracle, looks back in
I like
silence,
that.
and then leaves his father there. I did that on purpose. I stopped and I turned around. I looked at him for a moment and then I left. I just did that and they kept it in there.
It's a good look because it's like you kind of look and you kind of did a half look back and then it's good. You looked handsome.
I can't, there's nothing else to say right now. It was cool. That was a cool scene. That was like, Lex is like, I don't believe you. What do you want? What do you want? And then like, wow, Lionel's convincing him with John Glover's great acting ways. Mike, any memories filling the day with Glover? Look, they're always good. They're always playful. They're always bringing my A game out when I work with him. Any of us work with John. And yeah.
I was going to say that the scenes that I had with him sitting across the table, you're working with John Glover. But he also he's so good that while you're in the scene, he draws you in. And like he said to you episodes ago, Michael, are you listening? With John, you got to remind yourself, if you just be there, because he's laying it out for you in such a beautiful way.
With John, with a good actor, with a really great actor, you can't plan for your reaction. But what you can do, if you just listen, he'll do things that you didn't even point out or pick up on in the script or the lines, whether it's a laugh or a cunning this and it makes you react in a certain way and gives you so much for editing.
Yeah. Did you notice the music in this? It's like an alien sort of like delta wave thing. It's very alien, the music behind it. Caught my attention.
Clark calls him out for being selfish and withholding information, ironically. And Lex stares into the darkness, pondering his own darkness, wondering how he got saved. And Clark admits that he feels like Lex's enemy, and Lex tells him to not give up hope. I thought that was really sad and vulnerable for Lex to say to you, like, don't give up on me yet. And he's just really trying. And that tells a lot to the audience. Like, they feel for him because he's like, I'm a F up. I don't know why I do these things. I can't stop.
Well, and you're saying the same thing Lionel's saying in this episode, which is I had these issues and now I feel like I have a new beginning. You and Lionel are both saying this.
Yeah.
Lionel says it to you. You say it to Clark.
The episode ends with Jason meeting his mother. He tells her to back off with Lana and things will be different this time. Genevieve responds by being thankful her son is with someone who is so special like Lana. This makes Jason wonder whether or not him meeting Lana was premeditated.
Yeah, he goes, was I meant to meet with her? No, not at all, son. I don't believe that for a second.
Nope.
Interesting things of note. In this episode, the antagonist is tracked through a piece of jewelry that Lex gives his flings. The same plot was later used in Agent Carter with Cobie Smulders, and
Cobie Smulders.
Cobie Smulders, and like this episode, centered around a billionaire framed for a crime by a past fling. Jane Seymour, who played Genevieve Teague, also starred in Somewhere in Time, directed by Jeannot Schwartz, along Christopher Reeve. In Lana's dream, Isabel says, "Je vais dormir seule un peu," whatever, which translates to "I'm going to sleep for just a little bit." Duchess Gertrude says, "Tu m'as trahi, Isabel. Mantenet tevu meru," which translates to
Kuna Matata.
"You have been betrayed me, Isabel, so now you are going to die." Now it's time for the hotline. Talkville. Our lovable hotline, always great questions. I can't wait to hear it. Patron privilege. We'll start out with Mick Burtz. Mick Burtz, what you got for us tonight?
Hey guys, this question is for the episode Bound. In this episode, you're working side by side with guest star Cobie Smulders. When you worked with her, did you have the sense that her career would take off in the successful direction that it has today? Smallville kind of has that tendency to get these stars early on in their life and then their careers just explode later in life. Just curious if you guys had a sense that you're working with talent and where they're going to go. P.S. Michael,
kind of did the
great
opposite
job
with
not
us,
getting
though.
your sex scene cut in this episode. Nice job.
Thank you, McBurts. And my dog Charlie's here with us. You'll just have to deal with him for a second. You know, I got to be honest. No, I didn't look at her and say, oh my God, this is going to be a big star. I thought she's good. She deserves to have a shot. She deserves to work. She's great. But I didn't look at her thinking, oh my gosh. I don't think I ever do that. I don't ever think this person's going to be a star because there's so many good actors. You just never know what's going to happen.
It happened within a year. For her,
well,
which was
you
pretty
get
big.
a show and that's it. People could say the same thing about me.
So she left this shoot, went for like a screen test, probably.
All right, this is Lana rhymes with banana, who Tom and I have messed her name up so many times, but whose name is Lana? It's usually Lana.
Hey guys, it's Lana rhymes with Banana W. At the end of the episode, Jason is in the limousine with his mom, and he asks his mom, did I meet her by accident? So at this part in the story, do you guys know, was Genevieve involved in having Jason and Lana get together? This storyline has never made sense to me, and I was just hoping for some insight if you have any. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
I never know. I don't remember the storyline. I don't remember where it goes. I sort of remember where it goes a little bit, but ultimately, there's such an insinuation that he wouldn't have said that if they didn't want the audience to think, oh, you know, what she said was true. Like,
why is it that the spirit that inhabited Lana found somebody who looked exactly like her, whereas it didn't happen with Lois or Chloe?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Just saying.
Hi, this is Lisa calling in from Toronto. My question's in relation to the beginning scene with Michael and Cobie Smulders' character. For scenes like that, where she gives you the earbud, you listen to her music, and then the music starts playing over the episode, do you get to hear the song that's being used while you're in the scene? Or is that something that's all done in post? Because the question that was used for that scene was a little bit questionable, and it kind of felt a little bit goofy.
It did. It was just like, bam, 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 bam. I would have been like, yeah, I think, honestly, Lex would have been like, that's the shittiest music I've ever heard. Why are you playing me that? I thought it'd be something romantic or something really cool and hypnotic, and it was just it was crap.
It was her favorite
But
song.
we never get to hear the song. We're just hearing nothing. So,
hey, it's Billy from LA calling about the episode Bound, and my question is for Michael. That last scene with you and Saint Lionel was great. After you delivered the classic line, you got your help, Dad, don't expect another miracle, there was a moment before you left where you turned around in disbelief, questioning Lionel's sincerity to want to be his father. Do you remember if this was scripted or a personal acting choice? Either way, well
thank
done.
you very much. Yes, no, that actually wasn't. I remember. I know moments like that because you can't write that. Really, it was just one of those things where I wanted to look at him like, I want to say like, what do you do? Never mind. It's like you wanted to say everything but choose not to say it, you know? And it was just, I'm glad you liked it though. Bryant?
Not
hey,
scripted.
Tom. Hey, Michael.
That's the
This
answer.
is Bryant from South Carolina. More of a comment than a question. Michael, you always talk about how your sex scenes were cut out of the filming of all the episodes, but this one seemed to have it. Unless, of course, you had a lot more filmed than just what we received. So just your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was, it was fine. Sex scenes are what they are. They're never that comfortable. And, you want other people in the scene to feel comfortable and you want the passion to be there. But I'm glad they had some of it in there, I guess. I'm never one to want to do sex scenes or going, hey, write a sex scene with me. But it worked. I think it worked. John, what do you got for us? Come on, John. This is going to be a big
Hey,
one.
Michael and Tom. This is John from New York Time, New York. I'm calling for Season 4, Episode 9, Bound. My question for both of you guys. Guys, at the end, when Clark saves Lex, that seems really cool with the fire. Could you guys just kind of explain what you remember on that day of shooting? Thanks, guys.
I don't really remember anything other than being tied to a chair and being uncomfortable and sitting there and doing take after take and close up and wanting the scene to get over with. Some of those scenes when you're tied up or you're uncomfortable, they're never fun. You're just there's always something, your back's bent a certain way or you're trying to fight it and you're just, they're never fun.
Well, but you also you have to use it to your advantage, as I'm sure you did. I mean, Lex doesn't want to be there, neither does Michael.
I feel like taking my jacket off and waving it around.
Yeah, I'm going to wave my jacket around and stop this fire. International folks, Crystal, do you guys remember thinking it was silly that Shannon couldn't be recognized just because of the glasses and hair? I know it's also a Superman nod, but still.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, yeah. Huh. It bothered me. It certainly bothered me. I think she could have looked different. She could have looked different.
That maybe they are just laying the groundwork for Lex can't recognize people if they have glasses on.
And also maybe it's like he has these flings, so he doesn't really remember who they looked like or whatever. So why would he remember that?
That was kind of the plot.
He was drunk.
Or he just discards women.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible. But maybe these women also are trying to get something from him.
That's what he thinks.
And that's why he doesn't stay with them, because he thinks they're trying to get money or something, or
they're after his Lucky Charms.
They're after my Lucky Charms. Francis, have you guys had to deal with similar crazy kind of blackmail? No, knock on wood. I've never had to. I always, I've always tried to treat people with respect, and they have as well. I try to stay away from Crazy Town if I can.
The band from the early 2000s.
Was that a band, Crazy Town?
Come, my lady, come, my lady.
Oh, my Lord. Help us all. Help us all. Peter. With the introduction of Jane Seymour, do you guys feel any fond memories working with her on set?
I never met her.
I remember one time they flew me in. I got on a flight and I left and I landed and I got home. They go, hey, you need to come back today.
Oh.
I was so upset. And I went in and they had to put another hour and a half of makeup on me. And I went to set, and then Beeman goes, we're not going to get to you.
Yeah.
So I just flew back, and Jane, and I was really upset. And I was like, are you kidding me? And, Jane, I don't know. I didn't need people telling me anything.
To calm down.
Them telling me and I think she said something. I go, Jane, I love you. You're a super talent, but this is between us right now. So sorry. And she goes, oh, sorry. And I was just like, I just wasn't in the mood for it. But, it wasn't like I was mad at her or anything. Rosenbaum rating.
And now, Rosenbaum.
Now, you gave the last one a freaking rose, you guys. A rose for the last one spell. What do you give this one, Ryan?
I guess a 1.5.
All right, Tom?
I was going to give it a 1.5. It's funny you say that about the last one, but I think this is just a little bit better than the last one. I enjoyed the mystery of it. I thought everybody did a good job. I liked the tone of it. It wasn't so outlandish. I feel like the setup worked. I liked what Lex had with the lawyer, because I was like, oh, the lawyer did it for sure. And then when she turns up dead in the next scene, I was like, oh, wait a second. So it was a good sort of rabbit.
I'll give it a rose and a half. Based on episodes.
They squeezed in a little Lex erotic thriller in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Why not?
Death and save count.
Well, we know Ryan's favorite scene.
2 people dead. Shannon kills Eve and Corinne. 1 save. Clark saves Lex. Through 9 episodes, 5 dead, 16 saved. Series 97 dead, 119 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
Scene 1. The soiree to Pound Town.
Oh, you mean the beginning?
Yeah, the whole thing. Jacket fan, I'll call it.
Jacket fan?
Yeah.
I'm trying to use.
Yeah, the jacket. Yeah.
And then scene 3, loft confessional.
I'm going to go with 3.
He played it off like, nah, we'll go with loft confessional. Like, I don't care, but I think he's trying to trick us.
It's not the jacket.
I think the loft confessional is by far the most interesting thing in this episode, and it's about these two, and I'm going to go with that as well.
I don't disagree with you, but I went with 1. I liked the opening. I thought that was really interestingly done.
Okay.
Really?
Like we talked about how cinematic it was, and yeah, I'm a fan of Cobie Smulders' work, and I just wanted to include a scene with her in it, and I thought it was fun and interesting and different. And you did a great job too, Michael.
Thank you.
This would be a great episode to have had her on. That's for sure.
Yeah. I tried to get in touch with her through her husband, who was on the podcast, and she emailed me, but I guess she's busy or something. Is she doing How I Met Your Father?
No, she's in the Marvel universe.
Is she?
But she's also on other stuff.
Is she?
She did a movie with Tom Cruise. Yeah. And she was Jack Reachers. Yeah, she's in a movie.
Good for her. Guys, that's it for this episode. I thought this was a fun episode. I thought it was intense, and although comical at parts where the believability, you got to just throw it out the window like most episodes in certain moments in the show. But look, stick around next week as we get spooked, talking about season 4, episode 10. It's called Scare. With an episode title like Scare, you can't think it's probably going to be a great episode. Scare, spell.
They're all one word.
I'll be the judge of that, if it's scary or not.
Well, we'll see. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at talkville pod or at talkville podcast. And again, show us your support. Join Patreon and help support the show, and we'll keep doing this because without you, we can't do it. Patreon.com/talkville. And if you want more information like merch from the show or our hotline number, you can find that in the description. Again, go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum. The link tree, you can find out what cons we're going to and all that jazz. And there's a lot. We've got a lot of season left. We got half the season left, it looks like. And I think we got some really good episodes coming up. I can't wait to see what happens with old Genevieve Teague and Jason Teague. That storyline's just going to probably get better, I assume.
That was also a good scene. Honorable mention number 4, the limo was very good.
Yeah, that was a good moment. It was too short maybe, though. But it was kind of cool.
By the way, they didn't make Jane Seymour stand out under Rain Towers, did they?
She would never do that. I mean, not her, but her character. I think it makes sense that her character wouldn't do that, but she lets her son get out in the pouring rain. She's a little bit... you could tell she's manipulative. You could tell she's got a dark side. So we'll see what happens with this character. But I'm curious because you know how I love that storyline.
Dr. Quinn menacing woman.
Ooh, Dr. Quinn menacing woman. I like that. All right, guys. Tom, you want to say it?
Always hold on to Smallville.
We'll see you guys later. All right. Well, it's time to read our top tier patrons. Go to patreon.com/talkville. If you want to support the podcast, we could use your love. We could use your support. Go there, become a patron. And if you hear little bells ringing, it's my dog's tags. It's Blanche. She's sitting down now. She's fine. All right, let's go for it. Nikki G, Leanne P, Raj C. Can I keep rhyming?
We were just talking about Raj. By the way, we were just talking about Raj.
We were
DC.
talking about Raj.
Let's do this.
Santiago M, Little Lisa, Thomas the Leaf Blower, Shane W, Sophie M, Betsy D, Avi P, Ray Harada, Fatima T, Karen Apple M, 99 more, Leilani N, Brett G, always hold on to Smallville, Estevan G, Garrett W, Bob K, Kimberly L, Tom N, Jason W, Tom,
Osama A, Glinda, the Good Witch P, my favorite, Lana, Rams with Banana W, Nancy D, also my favorite, Ryan G, also my favorite, Sarah W, Vancouver Grips, Anna M, Amanda R, Teddy127, Michael P, Ryan R, Jordan M, Randy B, Craig G, Heather and Greg, going back to DC. I made Talkville say buds. Brian H, Eric K, Kristen B, Nanine W, Stephanie K, Darth Achilles, Finky, Early is on time? Is it? Damn. Who's that? Jeanette E, Deadvid, General Zod, Theodore, Big D, Doug R, Carlos C, Ken the Limber Guy, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Jesse C, Claire I gave Tom a Superman I. You're right. I still have it. Thank you. I do. D Brown, Karen Era M, Jules M, Eldon Supremo, Leslie V, McBurts, Ginger Moose. Please remember Janice from North Carolina. NC.
I do.
Christoph S, Michelle M, Drew, Michael Kine doesn't blank.
Sebastian F, the W, Dak Flando. Yeah, Dak Flando, Matthew and Lincoln B, the Coopers, Marion Louise L, CGO, Cindy C, Nikki L, Shannon Fofanin, Tina E, Matt Rick, Jen T, Randy S, Cassie B, Brad A, Felicia R, Danny Mo, Marable L, JS, Rachel D, Gingerous Prime, and Nate D. When you're rich, you aren't crazy, you're eccentric. Chicken Flower, Sammy Sharman, Carrie Ann. Hey, Carrie Ann. Patrick R., the Alexander Castle, Daryl E., Charlene A., Lady L., Spicy Chicken, Jenny B., Anna B., Monica T., Tom is my Hal. That's my what? Tom is my Hall Pass.
Hal Pass.
Hal Pass.
Hal.
Green
Hal
Arrows
Pass.
G-String. Eric M., Jeffrey K., Tony K., Pip Kenobi, Katya C., previously on Smallville. Geneva D., Matt C., Deepro, Sajal, and Devin, Chadwick B., Keith B., Chiru. We talked to Chiru. Major Paradox, the patron saint of Smallville, Libertariat. And that does it for the top tier patrons. Holy crap, man. Without your support, we couldn't do the show. Tom?
Thank you. Always your pleasure.
Yes, it's always my pleasure. We'll see you guys next week. Don't miss out. It's a good one.